YouTuber.
Good day everyone, I am Halija E. Pulalon, BSc in Criminology, Section Charlie. So for today's video, I will be going to compare and contrast the early forms of punishment with modern form of punishment. So to begin with, punishment is a type of reinforcement. At its core, punishment is widely understood to be an undesirable response to criminal behavior imposed by the criminal justice system. Punishment is also used to control individuals' behavior within families, school, workplaces, and other regulated environments like the United States military. Early forms of punishment. The early forms of punishment included banishment that required the offender to leave his home and get a far county either permanently or for a period of time. Early forms of punishment were designed to be slow, painful, and torturous. Some lawbreakers were put to death by stoning, crucifixion, and being burned at the stake, and even slowly being crushed by elephants. Later, societies found that this method to be cruel and unusual forms of punishment and sought out more humane practices. From early to modern punishment, everything has changed. From the ways we punish one another to now and modern times, what we like to call discipline. The contrast between early and punishment is that punishment is no longer a public display. It is more discreet. The crime is no longer punished, but it is the criminal that is, not what criminals have done, but why they have done it. The nature and duration of the punishment is no longer decided by the judges, but experts like social workers and psychiatrists. Also, no longer retribution, but to reform and rehabilitate. The early forms of punishment is carried out by hanging, immersing, and boiling water, but burning and feeding offenders to wild animals. Next is the punishment with penalties of mutilations, disfiguration, flogging, and maiming. Public humiliation is when offenders bring in front of people to be shamed by shaving their hair and branding them. Looked upon as a cruel, perhaps by today's standards, punishment was highly effective. Through physical, mental, or even social means, those who would break laws or moral standard will be punished. Individuals found guilty of stealing, manslaughter, adultery, or other major crimes would find themselves at the receiving end of many punishments. Those punishments included time in the stock or pillory. Individuals would be forced to remain locked in public as people would spit, throw items, or even hit the wrongdoer. Banishment. Individual would be expelled from the area. Also, the fines commonly paid to the church, most common punishment for petty crimes. Tar and feathering. Reserved for more severe crimes, an individual would be covered in tar and covered in feathers, typically paraded around the town thereafter. Execution. Reserved for murderers, death by firing or squad or gallows. Today, the meaning of a crime is tainted with all changes that different society have undergone over the years. But most of all, it's tainted by the opinions of the government, which can be good or bad. It all depends on which side you are standing on. As human, it's in our nature to have a certain instinct that lead to us to commit different acts. What centuries ago was done for survival, today is done for greed. The moment society begins to concede power to the government, everything begins to have a particular structure. It's at this moment that the concept of social construct related to justice begin to emerge, because this power is created to prevent people from killing each other, but the government begins to execute people as punishment. So, that would be all. That's the end of my video. Thank you for watching.